Hi everyone, Michael Ferrara here with Ferrara Services, and today I want to make a presentation on what to do if you're pulled over by the police for a traffic stop. And I'm going to share with you 7 tips to help make that traffic stop not turn into something a lot more than it should. We know in the world today we've been hearing much too often that a simple traffic stop has turned into a lot more, and in some cases has resulted in fatalities, and we don't want that to happen. So let's get right into it. So tip number 1, pull over at a safe location. If a police officer indicates for you to pull over, put on your turn signal to drive to the nearest safe location and pull over on the side of the road. If possible, pull over as far to the right as you can, so that when the officer approaches you, he's not getting hit by any oncoming traffic or has to worry about having his rear struck by oncoming cars. We want to make sure that the situation's okay for him. So make sure you pull over as far as you can. Now, I want to put out a big warning here, because there are people out there that impersonate being a police officer, and their intentions of pulling you over are wrongdoing. So if for any reason you feel that the person trying to pull you over is not a police officer, for example, if they're driving an unmarked car, you need to call 911 immediately. Put on your flashers, indicate that you've seen the police officer's presence by waving at him or her out the window. Continue driving at the speed limit towards a busy, well-lit area. Now, when you're on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, let them know that you're worried about someone posing as a police officer that is trying to pull you over. Tell the dispatcher your location, the direction that you're headed, as well as the make and model of the vehicle that you're driving. Never get out of your vehicle until the 911 dispatcher can confirm that a police officer is in fact trying to pull you over. If the dispatcher cannot confirm that person, carefully drive to a safe place, such as your local police station, and follow all of the dispatcher's instructions. So now that we got that out of the way, if you don't feel safe and you're not sure that person behind you, call 911 and verify that information. Better be safe than sorry. Tip number 2, do not make the officer nervous. You don't want to make the police officer nervous in any way. You don't want them thinking that you're dangerous. So make sure you turn off your ignition when you pull over, turn on your interior lights if it's dark outside, and completely roll down your driver's side window. Do not get out of the vehicle unless you are asked to. Keep your hands at the 10 and 2 o'clock position on your wheel, and do not start searching for your license, registration, or insurance information until the police officer asks you to do so. You don't want to give him the wrong impression that you're reaching for any type of weapon or any contraband or trying to hide anything. So you wait until he instructs you to reach for your information, then you can proceed and reach for that information. Tip number 3, be polite. Do not ask questions, and don't make any admissions to anything. Don't speak until spoken to, be courteous, and do not be condescending, flirtatious, or argumentative in any way. Your goal is to be as least memorable as possible. If the officer asks you if you know why you were pulled over, it's best to say something non-committal such as, "I'm not sure," and then wait for the officer to explain the reason. Don't argue with the reason. Either remain silent or simply say, "I see," or "I understand" in response. Remember, some police officers will strategically try to get you either to admit that you committed a traffic violation, or where you were so careless or inattentive that you had no idea whether you did it or not. So they can use that against you when they take you to court. So you don't want that. So don't give out any admission of guilt whatsoever. Tip number 4, if asked to do so, get out of the car. If the police officer has reasonable suspicion that you or your passengers could be a threat, he has the right to ask you and your passengers to get out of the vehicle, and then perform a minimally invasive pat down of your clothing to check for any weapons. Now, Please note, if you have an attorney or a service such as LegalShield, you have 24/7 emergency access to your attorney. Simply tell the officer that you'd like to contact your attorney before getting out of the vehicle or if the situation is starting to escalate. So you simply let the officer know that you would like to contact your attorney. Contact your attorney at that time, explain to them what's going on, and then they will instruct you as to what to do. They'll probably ask you to put them on speakerphone to speak with the police officer on the scene. Now, please note, if you do have LegalShield, you have an app on your smartphone that has emergency access. So all you need to do is click that button right there, and it'll contact your attorney 24 hours, 7 days a week. So if it's 2, 3 in the morning, you're going to go straight to an attorney, not a paralegal or anything like that, and that'll be your legal representation right on the scene, and it can help that situation from escalating any further than it should. So let's keep moving on here. Tip number 5. If you are issued a ticket, don't start arguing. If the police officer gives you a ticket, don't argue with the officer. Don't grimace or roll your eyes, and be as polite as possible. Remember, the key is to be unmemorable. If you start arguing with the officer or make a scene, it increases the chances that he will remember you and the specifics of your infraction, and as such he will be motivated to appear in traffic court so that your ticket doesn't get dismissed due to them being a no-show. Tip number 6. Don't get a back-to-back traffic ticket. Drive away carefully after getting the free to go from the officer. Make sure you're cautious of the oncoming traffic. Make sure you obey all traffic laws. Use your signals. Obey traffic control devices. If there's a stop sign, make sure you completely stop at that stop sign. You don't want to get another ticket. That would just be horrible. So don't give him any other reasons or her to pull you back over after the situation. And last and finally, tip number 7, immediately contact your traffic attorney, or simply open up your LegalShield app and snap a picture of the ticket to be sent directly to your attorney so they can get to work on it for you. Most people who receive a traffic ticket just go ahead and pay them. Big mistake. If you pay your traffic ticket, points will be assessed against your license, which will cause your car insurance rates to increase. Also, if you receive too many points or violations within a set period of time, you'll end up with a suspended driver's license. So that brings me back to the LegalShield app. Now, on your LegalShield, with your LegalShield membership and on your app, you have a feature called Snap, which if you click Snap, it says Begin. You hit Begin, and now you can take a picture of that traffic ticket, and it's going to go directly to your attorney, and they'll start working on that, and they'll also represent you in court if you have to go to court. Now, in most people's experience, if you do get a traffic violation or a speeding ticket and you end up going to court by yourself, even if that officer doesn't show up, what usually happens 9 times out of 10 is you get pulled aside by the district attorney, and they're going to basically scare you and blackmail you and let you know, like, hey, look, you can go up there and plead not guilty, but if you're found guilty, we're going to put the max penalty on you. We're going to charge you court costs and all this other stuff. And he's going to put in your head like, well, were you breaking the law? Were you doing a mile over the speed limit? Whatever the case is, he's going to make it seem like if you go up there and that judge finds you plead not guilty and that judge finds you guilty, that they're going to put major pain and major hurt on your pocket just for trying to fight that ticket. So they'll try doing a plea deal with you, probably give you court supervision, say, maybe reduce your fine or whatever like that. But if you have an attorney on your side, none of that's happening. You're going to get in, get out, and that attorney's going to take care of everything without you saying the wrong thing or putting yourself in a worse situation just because we don't go to court every day, so let's be honest. It's very nerve-wracking and very scary when you have to go to the courthouse and go in front of a judge, because you just never know what can happen at that point, and it's all up to the judge. So I hope these tips have been useful for you. I hope you find them somewhat helpful. If I can answer any questions or be of any other help, please let me know. I'll put my information at the bottom of this video, but I appreciate you watching, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Take care.